Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and today we've got the last two star decks from the set of 6 that we get at the beginning of the OP11 format here for the English version of the One Piece card game. We've got the Bonney as well as the yellow and green Yamato. So I know that the new cards from these have been kind of shown online a little bit. I know a couple places got their star decks a little bit early, so none of these are necessarily new cards for people who've been looking into them, but I haven't really looked at them myself. I kind of want to wait until they were officially revealed, and that's kind of what we're doing today. So we're going to look at the new cards, just go over my thoughts in general for both, again, the Yamato and the Bonney deck. Also, if you guys want to see these should be updated on Eggman events within hours of it going live, or at least this video going live, so there's a good chance it will be updated already. We already do have the other star decks that have been revealed already too, so you can check those out if you're curious on what cards have been revealed already. And again, this is the main reason that like our format is different from Japan, is because we do get these 6-star decks in our OP11 format and their OP12 format. So that's kind of the idea. We're going to start off with Bonney, and real quick, if you don't know what Bonney does, on your opponent's attack, once per turn, you can rest one of your Dawn cards. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders are character cards. So this is a pretty obnoxious effect. It makes it really easy to be defensive. Gets out of pretty much one attack per turn by just kind of resting one Dawn. And there's a lot of decks that really can't play around this effect, which is really strong. So it's also a supernova, which is pretty important. And that's kind of also the theming for a lot of the support for Bonney as well. So the 5 new cards we got are first the Capone Gain Beige. So this is a 2-drop blocker, is also supernovas. And on play, if you have 6 or more rested cards, you get to draw one and trash one card from your hand. So this could be kind of like a better version, I think, of like 2-drop killer. I know a lot of people are playing that card. It's just like another blocker for supernovas, but also something that you can play off your 8-drop kit as well. So I think this is a fine card. I don't think it's outrageously good, but I do think that some people will probably play a couple copies of this too. So not, I think, too outrageous, especially again if you're playing it off the 8-drop kit. And it also looks like Bonnie's getting more of these effects that are based off having your own cards rested, which I think is really interesting for the archetype as well. So there is the beige. Next up, we've got the Kid and Killer, one of these super rares for this one. So on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one supernovas type character, add it to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. And on your opponent's attack, you may trash this character set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So what you get to do with this is that, one, since the way that it gets sequenced, you can use this to set one of your Dawn as active. So since both of these are on opponent's attack, you can decide to use Kid and Killer first and then immediately tap the Dawn with Bonney. So that's very helpful. But also just having a searcher in this deck, even though we have the 1-drop Bonney, I think this is a pretty solid card for the deck in general. Also, I know a lot of people are already theorizing with this deck, using it for like the red and green Law, since it is like a 2-drop that just looks for any supernovas. The fact that that deck's really good for like bouncing cards back and forth. I know like green yellow Law look at this card and they're like, man, this helps my deck a lot too. So in general, I think that's a support for pretty much a lot of supernova leaders, not just the Bonney one. I think this is a fantastic card. It's nothing, I think, too special, but being able to be a searcher that also can get some advantage, or at least some Dawn open on like the defensive side, could be good. Like the fact that like you could do something else with this, I think, is strong. So really unique card, and I think it's really cool. So that's another one of the cards here for Bonney. And then we also have the Basil Hawkins of 4-drop 4K. It's also a 2K counter, notably. So any of your turns set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So I think this is a good kind of like flexibility spot, right? Compared to something like we've seen it with like Eau Rouge, which is essentially the same effect, but a 5K blocker that's only a 1K counter. This is just, I think, a fine card for the deck if you want to be able to play a body on board, but still get your leader effect for the turn. I think that's fine. So there it is. The next, also we have Law and Beppo. So this is another 10-drop for the deck. It's also supernovas, heart pirates, and minks. So the minks tribing is also, I think, kind of important for specifically the carrot leader. But on play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters, and that character will not become active in your opponent's next reflex phase. Then if your opponent has 2 or more rested characters, your leader gets plus 2K power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So this obviously works really well with being able to rest things, right? The fact that you don't get the Dawn back inherently means that you might have to set up the effects for it, but there's just like a lot of different ways to take advantage of this card. And again, I think it works really, really well for like carrot as well. I think that it's like, it's an in archetype like supernovas and or heart pirates version. of a like Don Quixote do Flamingo, which can be good, and also the fact that this can be searched because it is a Hearts Pirate card and a Supernovas card could mean like this could be like a weird boss monster for like a lot of different decks. So your opponent having two or more rested characters might be a little bit tough for this to be fine value for consistently, depending on what you're playing against. But if you are able to get that condition, I think this could be like a mildly better Dofi in some spots. But also, it's more conditional, right? It's not, I think, strictly better. But if you're playing like a Supernova, like there's just so many decks that would appreciate having like a searchable 10 drop, and this being able to do that I think is really good. So here's the build, or here's the character here for Lombap. I think it's really interesting, and I'm curious to see what builds could be used to take advantages of this card the most. So there we go. And then lastly, we have X Drake, another 2K, and a pretty good one, I think, as well. So if your leader has the Supernovas type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 5 or less, then set up to one of your Dawn card as active at the end of the turn. So kind of like an Uso Hachi in a lot of ways, right? Being able to rest something 5 or less, I think is great. Also just means that you can play this card, interact with something on the early game, and then still have a Dawn open for like getting some more interaction. So I think this is a great card. It's also Supernovas, Navy, and Drake Pirates, but obviously it only works for Supernovas. So if you want to bounce this into like your kid leader, or also could be used as like for law specifically. The fact that it's a 5 drop is important for that law for the green and yellow one. Also, but can still be used for like the red and green one. So honestly, like any Supernova leader, I think got a lot of boost from this one. Bonney obviously was like the poster child for the deck, but strictly speaking, like none of this stuff was like super duper Bonney centric, right? Even if it's like using in like red green law, they can still use like that one extra Dawn back for like a defensive event or something like that, and I think that's impactful. So these are the cards here. I think they're pretty interesting. I don't know if they buff Bonney specifically, but I do think they are cards that are just very good kind of on their own, and I think could be used generically in some other decks too. So there we go. Next up, we've got Yamato. So this leader came out in OP06. I also remember when this card was announced, a lot of people thought it was going to be the best deck in the format. It was just too broken. And if you look at these effects, right, just double attack already, and then also activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 3 or less life cards, give it two rested cards to one of your characters. So we're like, man, double attack on a leader is already insane when it's such a rare keyword that exists in this game already. But then also we have this additional effect for giving 2 Dawn. A lot of people thought this was cracked, and then it's still been a viable deck, but I don't think it's been it hasn't reached the expectations that a lot of people thought. So I do think that the new support that we're seeing is going to be really cool for the deck, because it really kind of revolves around the fact that you do give that 2 rested Dawn. It gives kind of these extra effects to cards, and I think that's really cool, because generally it's like, oh, you just make an attack bigger, but if you can't attack for the turn, then what are you going to do with it? But I think Yamato has some cool interactions. So first we have the Shura Doji, so Land of Wano, also the 9 as well. But if your leader has the Land of Wano type and your opponent has 3 or more life cards, KO up to one of your opponent's characters the base cost of 5 or less. So being able to get the removal of something is really nice. There's no I don't think any of the Land of Wano leaders also are paired with black, so I don't think there's any cost reduction, but it does get around cost increase. So I know like green purple Luffy was a bit of a scary deck for a while, so and I think it still will be a scary deck into OP11 as is. So this being able to get rid of a Sanji pudding, even if they boost it with Marigo, can be really strong, I think, in a lot of in that sense. So it's just kind of unfortunate though if your opponent takes the first attack that you do 5k double attack, then this does, you have to play around this kind of thing. But I think this is a really good removal card. I think you still play this card at a couple copies, and it can get some great early game pressure too, which is really nice. So there it is. Next we've got Izo. So this is kind of like a backup or additional copy of Onami. So on play, your Land of Wano type leader gains Banish during this turn, and then also Dawn ×2, this character gains Blocker as well. So being able to have a double attack Banish, not only from Onami but from Izo, means that you can just really consistently put your opponent on a lot of blocker checks, and if they don't, you just kind of win. The fact that you can also just use if you hit your opponent with the double attack banish from 5 to 3, then you could use the 2 additional Dawn to make Izo a blocker, and being able to have like a flexible blocker like this, I think this is a really cool design card that works, I think, really well with specifically the Yamato leader. So I think this can be really obnoxious and either replace or be run in tandem with the Onami with that gives banish. So there it is. Next up, you got Kinemon, which is a new 2K. So if your leader has the Land of Wano type and your opponent has 3 or less life cards, you get to play this card. So just a generically good 2K that can be like a replacement for something like Frankie or Satori. That's also in archetype. There's no real notes, right? This is just really great for Yamato, and I just see them playing this card. Oh, absolutely, right? There's really no reason to not in my mind. So there it is. And then next up, you've got the first super rare. It is the Kozuki Momonosuke. It is a 6-drop 7K. Your turn, if you have 2 or less life cards, your leader gets plus 1K power. So already having that boost is really good. Also, if you have more of these out on the board, you get the additional boost too, which is really neat. And then also activate main once return, you may return a total of 2 of your currently given Dawn cards to your cost area rested, which is a new sentence for the One Piece card game. So the idea is that you use like your leader effect to give 2 Dawn to Momo, and then you put them back into your cost area rested, so you can use this effect of this character gains rush and plus 1K power during this turn. So if you play this on 6 and your opponent has 3 or less life, then you're able to attach the 2 Dawn to the Momo on the turn you play it, and then you get to put the Dawn back, and then you get to attack a 7K or sorry, an 8K rush with this effect. So I think that's really good. Also, it's an activate main, so there are some like weird turns where you already attach 2 Dawn somewhere, and then afterwards you can still just return them with this activate main and then get the plus 1K anyway. So by and large, this almost will always be attacking as an 8K in my mind, which is really strong in a lot, the meta of a lot of 6Ks. It means that you can, they have to spend additional cards or something to get out of an 8K attack as a 6K leader. So that's really strong. I think this is going to be a really impactful card for this set right now. And, obviously it works the best with Yamato, but there are some ways like, again, like you can just play this card out, and then if it stays on the board, your leader just being able to attack 6K with no Dawn investment every turn, I think is going to be good in this meta. And then also, you can almost always attack with it 8K as long as you're attaching Dawn places, which should be pretty easy too. So really coolly designed card, and I think like a really good searchable like Land of Wano card there too. And then lastly, we've got Yamato. Maybe we should have started with this one. This one like is like a basic one, but it's just a 1-drop searcher. But that's really good. Like 1-drop searchers are like the backbone of this game sometimes. So Dawn times 2 your turn, this character gets plus 3K power. So that just means that you are able to attack as a 5K with 2 Dawn, which just kind of works thematically with how your leader works. And up your turn, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Land of Wano type character with a cost of 2 or more, add to your hand, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So having an actual searcher for Land of Wano in yellow is really important. Like obviously Yamato green yellow didn't really care about that, but there's also like this other Yamato leader that we haven't really talked about that is one of my favorites, to be honest. It's one of my favorites to run at pre-releases during the year or so that it was out, but during the the couple sets after this card came out. But it's just a Land of Wano card. Dawn times 1 opponent's turn. While your life has 2 or less cards, this leader gets plus 1K power. So that just means that you are able to be a 6K leader defensively very easily for just the investment of 1 Dawn, which is not too bad. We obviously don't get as much of the free, attached to Dawn effects that this the rest of the cards can do with the green and yellow Yamato. But the fact that we have like another yellow like Land of Wano leader to use these effects just means like I want to do some testing with it too, and I think that can be really interesting. So otherwise, like I don't know if we play like the Izo, the Kinemon you probably play, the Momo I think you almost definitely play. You just have to be careful about like not returning Dawn that's attached to your leader kind of thing. But this can just be great for, you can still attack 6K the turn you play as long as you go down to 2 or less life, which shouldn't, maybe that's like a little bit difficult to do with a 5 life leader, but I do think that these cards kind of have their places, and having like a searchable Yamato I think is very, very good too. So I also think that some of these cards are just like not locked to like Land of Wano. Like technically these 2 cards are not locked to Wano, which I think that just means that there are a lot of like different builds where we can have like some creative like Wano packages, right? Immediately one that I've been thinking about is like the yellow and blue Nami. It's a deck that I've been testing a little bit recently into OP11. I have like this really interesting like supernova build, which I made a video like previously on too. But I think there's definitely like a Land of Wano build potential for Nami as well, just because we are just very based on like manipulating cards in our life and being able to get like this Momo out. Like it's just like a really strong effect that I feel like can get like a lot of value as we keep going into the meta. So not much more to say though. I think this deck is really cool too. There's a lot of cool synergies, and I think like Yamato might have a chance to be like really aggressive, and these pieces might help you get that spot as well. So I don't have much more to say. This is the deck here, and looking forward to seeing what people are brewing as well. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys thinking of all these star decks, not only the 2 that we talked about today, but the 4 additional ones we've talked about previously. Again, pretty much as soon as this video comes out, we should be pretty updated for the rest of these cards too, so they should be on my deck builder on Eggman Events, so to check it out. And we also have the rest of the stuff. Also, like OP12 will likely be there in the next day or so, in case that matters, so do check that out too. But that's gonna be it for me. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'll catch you all next time.